Hi friends, good morning. How are you? I'm not in Finland anymore. I came home last week, so I feel like it's been a long time since I've just been here doing stuff. Anyway, it is Monday morning and I'm on my way to work. Check out my cute little outfit I'm rocking today. Ooh, cute, with the little infinity scarf, and I even curled my hair like I knew somebody. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so it has been super crazy last week with coming home and being jet lagged, and like, I think I was still sick or getting over strep throat, and all the travel and all of that stuff. And then work has just been nutso. I actually went into work yesterday and worked, because I had a lot of things to get caught up on, and then one of my coworkers left, and so I have to sort of pick up the stuff that she would have been doing. So there's a lot going on there. Anyway, so today I have a class, and then I need to come home, and my house looks like it exploded, so I need to deal with all of that stuff. But hopefully it's a good day. I don't know. Yesterday was so beautiful outside, and today I think it's gonna rain, but what can you do? Alright, off we go to work, but first, time to get some coffee. It's just not as fun as it was in Finland to like sit and have coffee and be all leisurely about the day. So now it's just cheap coffee through the drive-thru, but here we go. Okay, so I'm in the car. Don't worry, I'm not actually driving yet. I was actually early getting ready, so I don't need to like rush to work. Anyway, but I found so since I'm driving the Peachy Cruiser while Dad is away, sorry, I was looking for something. Okay, so it has a CD player, because that's cool. And so I've been listening to my Wicked soundtrack that I got when I was in New York, and Michael and Allie and I actually saw this on Broadway. It was amazing. So I've been listening to this, and I've been listening to Changed for Good. So it's after spring break, and it's becoming the time when all the students are going to graduate, and I always get a little bit sad about it because I get attached to the young people, and I'm going to miss them, even though, like, duh, they're supposed to go off and, like, make the world better places. Anyway, so, but I still get a little bit sad. And so one of my students, we kind of have this thing, so I try to send these like totally sappy messages and do all this social work on the people, and sometimes it's not as appreciated as others, but so I will comprise emails solely out of clip art, and so I said that now that like graduation's coming up, to like prepare yourself because the emails are gonna get even stupider. So I sent one on Friday that was like, well, one of my favorite quotes for this time of year is from Dr. Seuss, the "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." But then since I've been listening to this and sobbing in my car like an idiot, then the line from the song, "Who can say if I've been changed for the better, but because I knew you I've been changed for good." So, you know, getting all sappy because the young people are leaving my life. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so now it's time for coffee for sure. What do you suppose this contraption's doing here in the road other than blocking traffic? What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? So this is the view from my office window. I know I've talked about it, but I've never actually shown it. So here it is. It's quite pretty. Now it's time to get to work. So work is over, and now I am on my way to class. I just had to pick up my bag from the car, but it's raining quite a lot, so I might drive over to class, because it's not that far, but like it's wet. Anyway, so we just got our advising packets, so we have to meet with our advisor once a year to talk about our progress and blah, blah, blah. And I think I have 7 more academic classes to take, which is kind of a lot, but whatever. So I'll look at the timetable and see which ones are offered after work and, you know, all that business. But off I go to learn. I don't know. I'm So weird. And I'm home from school. Woo! Good news, it stopped raining, so that was nice. And on the way home, I stopped and I got myself some gumbo. Check it out. Doesn't it look yummy? Ooh, I got some drunken chicken. Most times I forget that that place even is on campus because it's on like the totally opposite side of campus, and I'm not thinking of going all the way out there during my lunch break. But one of my classmates had a cup from this place. It's called J Gumbo's. Had a cup from there, and I was like, oh, that looks really good. Like, I want to eat that for dinner. Oh golly, there you go. So I got that. And class was good. So a couple weeks ago when I turned in my exam, the one that I waited until totally the last minute to do and like ended up finishing it the day of in Dad's office, so we got that back, and I actually got an A on it, so that was exciting. I was happy. And I think I mentioned it before, this class is about cognitive behavioral therapy, which I quite like. And today we talked about how, like, one of the things you can do with your clients is you can ask them to imagine like the worst case scenario, and then like what would happen, what's the worst case scenario of whatever your fear is, and then you sort of can talk about, then envision it, like what can you do to change that or whatever. And I was thinking that in my life, or what I like to do, is I kind of think about after the fact. And so I was thinking about like when I was in Germany, and sorry, my hair is like crazy today. Oh. So when I was in Germany and I missed my connection, like worst case scenario would be that I'm stuck in Germany forever and I'm never gonna make it to Helsinki and I'm just gonna die in the airport. So that's worst case scenario. And then I can think, well, that didn't happen. Like, even though I may have gotten upset and like cried or whatever and been really unhappy about the whole situation, like I did in fact make it out of Germany, you know, like I made it onto another flight, like I got where I needed to go. So then now I can remember the next time that something stressful comes up, you know, where in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a basket case, like I can't believe I'm crying in the middle of the Berlin airport. Like, actually, I can think, well, no, you actually made it through that situation. So, you know, you're not weak or unable to handle these situations. And so you can kind of think about that, like, well, the worst case scenario didn't happen then, so it's unlikely that the worst case scenario will happen in whatever situation is stressful, you know, sort of moving forward. So I thought about that. Anyway, work has just been a nut lately. Like, people's behaviors are just getting stranger by the minute. You know, and like I try to have a very open relationship with the students. You know, I try to be friendly with them, and like I try to, you know, we can talk about whatever they want to talk about. But sometimes some of them they get a little strange. You know, like they'll say things to me that I'm like, okay, that's not appropriate. Like I'm actually, you know, like I'm not 21. Like you can't say that kind of thing to me. And so it's kind of it's a fine line between being friendly and then like I don't know. So sometimes people will say things that will upset me, and I kind of feel like if you're going to, and I think I've talked about this before, like if you're going to insult me, do it in a clever way. Like don't just like, I feel like the lowest denominator for girls is like, oh well, let's just, and I'm not talking about like things the students have said, but like the lowest denominator in terms of insults would be to talk about how a girl looks, and then just to insinuate that she's like slutty. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the work, like it's not very smart of you to just say that like, oh well, that girl's ugly, or she's fat, or to be like, oh well, she must be a slut, that's why she talks to boys, or, I mean, it's just kind of dumb, in my opinion. But I don't know, sometimes I have to just remember that not everybody lives their life the way I live mine or holds themselves to such standards, and so you can't really, but I've lost my points. Anyway, so now I'm going to eat my drunken chicken. Oh, about this stuff. So I really like gumbo, and I really like Indian food because I think that this flavor is so yummy. But most of the times I think it's really spicy, but it's like spicy in a good way, Whereas like sometimes Mexican food is just spicy and it doesn't really, like there's not much of a flavor to it. But this stuff, it's so good, even though it's like super painful to be eating. And I'll be like, this is so good, but it's hurting me to eat it. But it's super yummy. So I'm sure like after eating this, I'll be like, oh, it hurts. But it's so yummy. So I will just force myself to do it because it's going to be tasty. Anyway, so I really need to do my taxes because, like I had said, like, I mean, I brought all of the tax stuff with me to Finland, and I had put all of our, like, documents, like our W-2s and all of that stuff, like, in my carry-on, so I had all of that stuff with me, but I put the actual, like, tax software into the duffel bag because I was like, oh, okay, you know, no big deal with this. But then that didn't arrive until the very last night I was there, and by that point, like, we weren't going to do our taxes like 5 minutes before the plane left. So now I've brought them all back home. So our tax documents have had a lovely little jaunt about the world. But now it's kind of like, okay, it's April 7th, like they're due soon. Get it together. So I'm going to at least download the software onto my computer and then, you know, think about doing it. So that's my fun and exciting night. It's only Monday, but I hope you guys had a great Monday, and I'll see you later.